Necharak ma'at, nutetiret ma'at, anuk ma'at. Necharak ma'at, nutetiret ma'at, anuk ma'at. Necharak ma'at, nutetiret ma'at, anuk ma'at. I give thanks and praise to my ancestors, teachers, and guides, those who are not only here, but those on the other side. I stand upon the shoulders of those who have come before me. I give thanks and praise, for I couldn't have done it without you. Hatepu, Uncle Chasanab. Ma'at is the daughter of Ra, the netter of fire, heat, and solar radiation, and in some cases, the wife and consort of Tahuti, the netter of wisdom. It is she that stands in front of the boat of Ra, and it is she that Ra established as his foundation. Sphere 4, according to the works of Shechem or Shechem, it says that she is the Commission deity who is known as the one that brings abundance, wealth, and so forth. She is also known as the Netert, or the goddess and lady of cosmic order. In fact, she is said to embody truth, balance, order, harmony, righteousness, morality, and justice. She is also identified with abundance. However, the abundance one reaps by being on their path, which is being in harmony with cosmic order. Ma'at represents the ability to abide by the law, not so much as man-made law, but natural laws and universal principles. We are guided by the spirit of Ma'at to understand the beauty, getting in touch with cosmic harmony by living in truth. The pictogram of Ma'at shows her stooping with her wings spread, representing the ability for truth to be transcendental yet grounded. She also has an ostrich feather in her hair pointing upward, and we know the ostrich feather is also linked to the Neter Shu, who is the yang principle that would unite with Tefnut in the beginning of creation, giving birth to Seb, the earth plane, and Nut, the celestial plane, and in turn giving birth to Osir, Aset, Set, Nebetet, and Heru-Ur. The ostrich feather is one of her most recognized symbols. It is in her hair because feathers were used in many ancient traditions to operate like spiritual antennas, used to connect with higher thoughts and powers. Feathers are also associated with the wind, like the Neter Shu. Wind is associated with the divine breath that sustains life. The feather is found on the scales in the judgment scene. This is called the weighing of the heart, and it is believed that if the heart of the deceased were not balanced with the feather of Ma'at, it is revealed that such a person has failed to live a life of truth and therefore were denied their immortality. Usually, this was the heart outweighing the feather, which implied that one being evaluated had a heavy heart. And when we look at the judgment stele, we will see that there is a crocodile-headed being with the trunk of a person and the lower body of a lion. This entity is named Amit, the eater of the dead or the eater of hearts, and it is believed that the heart of the deceased who was found guilty was given to the soul eater, the eater of hearts. Those who were able to pass the evaluation of the 42 judges were said to be victorious and true of voice, or Makeru. The individual was immortalized in the minds of the people. Libations and food offerings were given to this person at their burial site for generations to come. And it is also important to note that Ma'at was both a moral code and a foundation for their whole way of life. Ma'at Hotep, Brother Wayne Proctor. The priests and priestesses of Ma'at made up society's judges who made sure that morality reigned as part of social order of that particular time, that is, the order of the day. Something else that would also be noted, which was related to Ma'at, was the fair distribution of wealth. The sphere of Ma'at also deals with philosophy, hence the love of wisdom. We discovered that philosophy had two aspects to it, that which was considered practical, as well as that which is considered theoretical. The practical was to live the philosophy or live a way of life in search of wisdom, because theoretical knowledge by itself is merely speculation and dialogue around this particular way of life, in which a lot of us brothers like to do. We like to get together and build, which there's nothing wrong with that. But the next step is applying such wisdom. So when it comes to the speculative aspect of philosophy, it often falls into what is considered the eighth sphere, which is Sebek, according to Shechem or Shechem's work. So, Ma'at, we deal with the inspiration to explore what is considered the higher level science, which is then running the structure of the ancient societies that were dealing with divine harmony and cosmic law. Ma'at deals with synthesis and the bringing together of concepts, unlike Sphere 8, which deals with the separation and breakdown of concepts. Not being identified with the higher aspects of society will put one in what we call the realm of Esfet, that is, disagreeable situations and behavior, or some would even associated with chaos and so forth. Ma'at deals with the way. It means the way and has been identified with truth by virtue when it comes to the conclusion that wealth and abundance is achieved with living in alignment with truth. That puts wealth in a different category outside of just material gain, but understanding that there's an internal wealth. Other forms of wealth manifest as family, children, community, etc. The problem with Western education, it has been biased on the fact that the individual is prepared to work in the world as a consumer in an economy that is encouraging one to do a lot of shopping, not to develop their higher cognitive functions. The sphere of Ma'at shows one by how maintaining equilibrium with the higher and lower self and the equilibrium of the two brain hemispheres, one begins to see the greatness within not only themselves, but as a living image of one who is living truth. And they also see the divine within others as well as within themselves. Living Ma'at causes you to take a more holistic look at a human being, not just seeing them as an object or somebody as a means to an end, but recognize that the truth and the divine power is within each and every one of us. Interesting enough, we see how Ma'at is identified with the law of that particular time. Even when we go to the courtrooms today, we still see that your courts are full of rituals. Like, for instance, the 9 jury representing the 9 Neteru of ancient Kemet. We see where the judge can be interchangeable with a Sar. And I'm talking about the Supreme Court, by the way. So we see a Sar, Tahuti, and Ra. That could be the judge, any one of those Neters. And it's these principles in which the United States was supposed to have built its government off of, linking it to the sphere of Seker, which is Saturnian in nature due to structure and discipline. It is true that Ma'at deals, and for some reason, somebody is decided to call me. Hold on one second. Let me see what this person is. Okay. Anyway, from time to time, people will actually try to call me while I'm in the middle of breaking things down, but that's okay. So anyway, it is these principles in which the United States was supposed to have been founded on. Now, Ma'at also is connected with the Constitution as well as Sikr, and is built on fairness, and it is one that deals with being welcome in the pursuit of happiness, as well as maintaining social order and economic order based on natural law. And it is these principles that one can actually make a great country, or that is, make a country great in reality, okay? It has nothing to do with supremacy and suppression, or dealing with oppressing any group of people, but giving them the opportunity to experience the fullness of their being. The true pursuit of happiness is being aligned with your destiny and living it. The Cometians did cherish morals because they understood the need to have a moral fabric that could hold society in place so that civilization itself will not fall into Esfet or chaos. In a book entitled The Purdam Hiruim Ger, also known as the Egyptian Book of the Dead, or the Book of Coming Forth by Day from Night, you see the scribe Ani go before the 42 judges, where he has to deny committing 42 crimes before he's able to achieve victory in the form of immortality. This is proof that part of the education of the ancient Cometians were to improve the individual's character prior to the time of leaving this earth, so that it is believed that they would achieve an even higher state beyond this physical realm. Human nature never just does good because it's being told to do so. The urge to behave a certain way has to be impressed upon the subconscious and the psyche of the individual so that they can tap into this true nature. This is why there were systems of initiation and so forth. It was believed that those who contributed to society can obtain and achieve immortality. So what I tell people who are interested in looking more into this and meditating on the Kemetic tradition, get you a copy of the Pernim Harum Ger by, you can start with E.A. Wallace Budge. And the reason why I recommend this is because it has the Medu Neter and the transliteration next to it. Now, even though Budge may have made a few mistakes, if you get yourself a hieroglyphics dictionary and study, you'll be able to make connections, okay? Let your spirit guide you on this and allow the ancestors to speak. Also, when it comes to looking at what is keeping us in harmony as well as causing us to fall in disharmony, we must ask, you may do this, you can do this. List all the judgments you may make about yourself, and list all the judgments that you make about the world, and list those judgments you have made about others, and pay attention to what you're saying about other people and yourself, because as you judge yourself, you tend to judge others. Do you see any connection to yourself and others in the world? And do you see any form of self-sabotage caused by your judgments towards others in the world? I'm going to leave you with that, family. I give thanks and praise to the ancestors. I give thanks and praise to the spirits of those who continue to guide me today. And I would like to thank those who viewed this video. I'm out. Peace, love, and blessings. May you have an abundant life. Hatepu.